What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are going to talk about the kit for Polaris. We've got some footage of the X Factor team versus Black Order and Marauders in war. They have kind of changed things up. You're going to notice the fight is going to be a little zoomed in here, and that's because they don't want to show the debug information, but this is in war with the buffs and everything. No boost on the enemy team, but this X Factor team seems to take down a Black Order team pretty handily and war offense, and we'll see how that goes in the long run. They're using Captain Marvel here. I feel like Silver Surfer would be a much better fit for this team, especially against Black Order, and I think this is going to be an arena meta kind of team. There's going to be a lot of speed bar flying around. Silver Surfer has some great anti-villain cosmic synergies in his kit, and also does really well with hero cosmic characters, both of which are Shatterstar and Longshot. So this team, it looks pretty good. It's going to be a war offense focused team, as you see with the kit. And there's also some nice little Easter eggs with Polaris, her being the daughter of Magneto. Her ultimate is very much a Magneto kind of move, but she also brings some much needed support to the team, able to help cleanse of negative effects off the team, removing deflect from other characters. And there's also some buffs to Longshot and Shatterstar with this team. We'll see that in the patch notes to go through that, but also one big thing to note real quick is that we got a focus boost to Iceman. You guys will see that in the patch notes. Iceman got a 33% boost to his focus, which is sorely needed. The guy does not have any focus stat until you take him to tier 14, so he's really kind of missing out on that reliability of placing speed down, which is a big part of his kit, especially for raids. But with that focus boost, it's going to be a big deal for him. Should be able to reliably apply those negative effects at something like tier 12, at least a little more reliably. So you don't have to go for that skirmisher ISO 5 on him anymore. You can get past that with the boost to the focus now with his base stat. So nice to see that. So you guys can see here in the background, taking care of this, and I love the animation there with multiple man, and basically how like the little dupes come in and they all just kind of tag team Thanos. It's so cool. But yeah, this team looks pretty good. Let's talk about the patch notes here. Yeah, we're gonna start with Silver Surfer. We have already seen that. A nice little thing they've added in now is that these developer notes and questions, talking about some of the highlights and some commonly asked questions that people will have about these different characters. So for Silver Surfer, the defined attributes for him are going to be high health, damage, and resist. We already knew about that. Extremely strong and versatile blaster. He has great sustain built into his kit. He gets a lot of healing on every single turn. He gets the increase to speed. He's going to move faster as the fight goes on. A lot of healing going on. Very strong and durable. And ISO 8 considerations, recommendations for him. Striker works best because of the ability to constantly strip or steal positive effects from the enemy team, or take negative effects from himself and put it on the enemy characters. That's pretty big for a striker. That's one of the strongest basic attacks we see in the game, and he gets that with his ISO attacks as well. Healer also works well with him because of the passive heal. Who does he work best with? Hero Cosmic Allies. We already know about that because of the boost to resistance. He's great against villain cosmic enemies because that boosts his focus as well. He's great for plugging into different teams. You know, he's going to be a very nice plug and play character. Doesn't have to go with one team. Does of course get that boost with Hero Cosmic, but he's going to have some very interesting traits that make him a very strong plug and play character. Sort of like basically like you have with Baron Zemo. Zemo works great in a bunch of different teams. Silver Surfer is going to be better than Zemo, but it's going to be the same kind of concept. So here we go, Polaris. She's going to be Hero Global Mutant Controller, and she's going to have the X Factor. And in her kit, she also has a Super Sleuth tag, and that kind of makes us think that maybe she's going to be an event campaign character. We'll see how that works out. Her basic is called Sanguine Iron. Attacks the primary target for 230 for, oh my gosh, I can't speak. It's like midnight, and they gave us this notes like an hour ago, so I'm trying to scramble to put this video together. Attack the primary target for 230% damage and adjacent targets for 200% damage. Apply the bleed to primary and adjacent targets, and barrier the most injured non-summoned ally for 10% of this character's max health. So the dupes on your team with multiple man will not get this barrier. A bleed to the primary and adjacent targets, not bad. Everything she does is going to hit multiple enemies, so you can already see that there's going to be a good case for putting Raider on her. Her special is going to be Electrostatic Field, 4/4 energy cost. Barrier yourself for 20% of this character's max health, Attack the primary and adjacent targets for 190% damage. If any target has bleed, they take 250% piercing instead. This will always crit the primary target, and it cannot be blocked. Not bad. The guaranteed crit there, that's definitely going to help out with the crits with X Factor, where they gain the bonus barrier and speed bar every time they land critical hits. So that's very nice to see. If they have bleed, you know, you can put bleed in with a special on long shot. You've also got bleeds with Polaris here as well. So there's going to be quite a few sources of bleed with an X Factor team. This special is going to really help boost that damage as well. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. And then you get to this ultimate reverse polarity, a 7/7 energy cost, long cooldown, but guess this turn 1. Pull all enemies with 2 spaces toward the primary target, attack the primary target and targets within 2 spaces for 300% damage, apply Disruptor for 2 turns, flip all regeneration to bleed, and if multiple mana is an ally, gain 100,000 plus bonus focus to flip regeneration to bleed. This attack is unavoidable and cannot be counterattacked. So right off the top of the head, anytime Cole Obsidian has bonus regeneration, he gains, I believe, 1,000% bonus resistance. This, I don't think is going to be enough to counter that because that's a percentage based. So I think Cole Obsidian's still going to have a huge amount there. I have to go and do the math on that one, but that seems to be them trying to counter the bonus resistance on Cole Obsidian, and you use this to flip the regenerations on him. Now he loses his bonus resistance, so this is a good counter to Cole Obsidian. Other characters who have strong defense or strong resistance with their passes and everything, this is pretty good for that as well. Flipping regenerations to bleed, that's not bad at all. Disruptor for 2 turns, it's not going to be as strong as Blind as was for Magneto, but you do get Disruptor for 2 turns, so still pretty strong in its own way, cannot be counterattacked and unavoidable. So this is pretty much a Magneto move, and I mean, hey, it is the daughter of Magneto, so you know, you get a similar move to Magneto here. Not bad at all for an attack. This is going to hit everybody. This is why Raider is going to be very big on her. This is why I run Raider on Magneto. He gets a lot of adjacent attacks, a lot of area attacks. So Raider is going to be a pretty good bet for her based on this right now. And her passive is called Mistress of Magnetism. On self or ally X Factor crit, remove all deflect from the most injured non-summoned enemy. When an enemy attacks this character or any ally with barrier, apply bleed to that enemy. On war offense, 15% max health for herself and X Factor non-summoned allies, and 10% max barrier for herself and non-summoned X Factor allies. There's also 70% focus for herself and non-summoned X Factor allies as well. That bonus barrier is huge because I believe it caps out at what, 30% right now? I could be wrong. It's either 30 or 40%. You get another 10% on top of that. And every time you get a crit with X Factor because of the passive on Shatterstar, they gain 10 or 20%. I've got to look it up. I should be having these pulled up in the background so that we can take a look at it. But yeah, every time you score a critical hit, all X Factor allies, as long as Shatterstar is out there on the team, they all gain barrier. So you're gonna get a lot of barrier. You're gonna get a lot of that with this. You also get the crits, removing deflect. This team is very crit focused, and that is by design. So Raider really makes sense on Polaris just looking at this kit. She's got high health resistant damage based on the developer notes and questions. Powerful controller that inhibits her enemy's ability to use regeneration. Provides barrier-based bonuses on war offense. Fortifier synergizes well because of the extra barrier. Raider synergizes really well because of the extra crit damage and the guaranteed crits with the special. Obviously, works best with multiple mana and the rest of X Factor. That's no big surprise. And can use her ultimate to flip regeneration to bleed, providing a strong counter against teams that rely on regeneration for sustain. So, Black Order. Regeneration is a big deal for Black Order. So that's kind of a big deal for them. So being able to flip those regenerations to bleed and gain that bonus focus for it, yeah, this is screaming a Black Order counter. So it's been good. It's been good having you, Black Order. You're really getting knocked down now. But hey, Black Order's had its year of being the meta team, so it's time we finally got some reliable counters in here. And then we get to multiple man. We've already seen all this stuff before. There's nothing too crazy here. We saw that in the blog post. High health and resist for him. Unique protector who uses his juice to protect himself and allies. The dupes heal multiple man when they die. They also give him counter, and I think Raider is going to be an easy one to go for on multiple man because every time a dupe dies, he gains counter, and he can counter on crits, and that's going to fuel the crit-based synergy. So Raider works really well with that. I've also seen people talk about Fortifier or Healer or other abilities, but I really like Raider. Just going full Raider on the X Factor team because that speed bar, the regeneration, the barrier, and then these war-based offense abilities where they're just like stripping deflect and gain all these bonuses with crits. Yeah, this is a big one. So yeah, this team is shaping up really well, and they're looking pretty good. Now we also got some buffs, and here's the increased focus stat by 33% on Iceman. Pretty big deal right there. That's not bad at all. But here we go. We got some buffs to Shatterstar and Longshot. In case you're worried that the X Factor team wasn't strong enough, now you're getting some boosts, and these are some significant boosts and buffs to the established X Factor characters already. So for Shatterstar, his special now applies defense down to all targets instead of just the primary target, and cannot be blocked. That's big. Defense down on everyone now. That's, I mean, rip, man. Like, just rip. Like, that's crazy, and it can't be blocked. So this is gonna be guaranteed to crit against a team that's got boosts. Shatterstar goes first for your X Factor team. If they can't block it, then it is a very high chance he's going to land crits, because remember, blocks prevent critical hits. Can't block it. So this is gonna kind of get the train rolling on the speed bar for your X Factor team. And then here you go, on his passive, a nice little buff here, 35% bonus damage for himself and non-summoned X Factor allies. Not bad. If you thought Longshot did some really good damage before on his ultimate, you're going to see even more now. I would not be surprised to see that thing push for 500,000 now on a target with defense down. That's going to be impressive to see. We'll see. I've got a tier 15 T4 ultimate on my Longshot, so I'm going to be very curious to see what this could do exactly. And then some buffs to Longshot. His basic cannot be dodged, and his ultimate cannot be blocked. So guaranteed crit on the ultimate as long as you have the Raider ISO on him. Going to defense down, good luck. And then here on his passive, if his character has 3 or more non-summoned X Factor allies, lower armor by 5% for all enemies. Because this team just wasn't doing enough damage. And didn't seem like it was going to be super powerful. Now we get this too. This is something I saw out of like Thanos, where in the Black Order team, Thanos would reduce the armor on the enemy team. Now you have Longshot reducing the armor on the enemy team if he's got Polaris, Multiple Man, and Shatterstar on the team with him. So, yeah, that's not bad at all. Those are some nice buffs to this team, and I'm excited to see what this team could do exactly. And, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Let's see if I can pull up some, I know, that's artwork for... Here we go. Here's the Marauders fight, too, if it's gonna let me play. But... yeah, man, guys, this team is just looking absolutely incredible. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely find some better ideas than Captain Marvel on this team, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this with this kit with Polaris and how this team looks? What do you guys think? Also, one other thing real quick, 100 speed on both Multiple Man and Polaris, so they're both drastically slower than Longshot and Shatterstar, but because of the constant speed bar with critical hits and everything, speed's not really going to be an issue for them. You don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this team? Are you guys excited for it? Are you guys interested to see what this team can do? Let me know down below. But as always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.